right, hello everyone, welcome back to the stream. What is my hair doing? So today just going to be working on the game loop for this Necromancer Alchemy card, collectible card auto battler thing. I think I have a name for it, but I'm not sure I want to share that yet. But names are not important. What's important is getting the game loop all working. So I think the foundation of the game is starting to come together. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play through the game. There's not much to play through, but what I'm going to do is just play it, just sort of identify, okay, what would be the next best thing to add to make the game as interesting and fun as possible. And I'll just repeat that and start to build out more stuff. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing on the stream. I don't have an exact idea of what I want to work on next, but I'll show you everything that I've done. But before I do so, let me hold on a second. Stop. The cat is sitting outside my door and screaming. As soon as I start streaming, it's always the same. Anyway, before I get started, Gunforged is now on sale for the next week. It's 30% off, so if it's been on your wish list or if you want to support my work, now's a good time to do it. You'll get the game for 30% off, and I think it's a pretty fun game too. I think you'll enjoy it if you like roguelike twin stick shooters. So definitely check that out. The link for this is in the description below. And you can, like I said, that's a great way of supporting my work. You can also check out my Udemy courses, like the one that's on the banner down here. Those courses will teach you how to build a complete game in the Godot engine, and it's also a great way of supporting me as well. Also, you can like, subscribe, watch my other videos, all that good stuff. Hit the notification bell. You know how to do the YouTube stuff. So anyway, let's get right into it. Hello, Umishin. Welcome. Hello, Adam. Welcome back. Dr. Necro McAlchemizer. No, it's close. Close to the name I was going to go with, but... Hello, Trayson. Haven't been able to tune in because of work. Hope you're having success. Thank you. Yeah, welcome back. Good to see you again. Hello, Quiji Pixel. Welcome back to you as well. All right, so let's get right into what we're doing here. So let me show you what I've done. So yesterday's stream, we implemented a very basic tier system with ability scaling based on the tiers. Can't remember if I did the card upgrading or not, but so now I have, I don't know if you can see this that well on the stream. Actually, let me do something real quick. Display window. Let's get rid of the integer scaling. Okay, actually give me 1 second really quick. All right, goodness. Okay, so I'm back. So, yeah, so I've got, I don't know if you can see this very well, but I've got a little plus icon up here. So a plus icon appears whenever the card is above tier 1, and the number of pluses up here will show in accordance with the tier. So if I was at tier 3, there would be 2 pluses. So a plus is basically any additional level after the first. So I can actually show you what that looks like. Let's go to the run manager here. Increment tier. Okay, so now you can see that there's two little plus icons right there. So that's just a nice way of being able to parse which abilities are upgraded. Now this is going to be not so important, I think, for the player cards because you generally are going to know what your board layout is. This is going to be important for the enemies. So at some point, I'm going to add some randomization to these boards wherein some of the cards can be upgraded in terms of their tier. And so the player is going to need to be able to parse that pretty quickly, because otherwise, if there's no indicator here, you would have to click into every single card on the board and see what tier it is. So I'm trying to the problem is that I don't really have a good way of displaying a whole lot of information on the cards themselves, but I do need to display some so that it's easy to parse. And yeah, that's going to be a continual problem in this game that I'm going to have to solve. But in any case, that's the tier system I've got here. I also added some icons to this screen, little turn icon, little tier icon, and did some work on the theming of the text. Anyway, it's not important stuff. The big thing here is that I've got this new, hold on a second. All right, hopefully the cat will stop now. Anyway, so one of the new things that I've added is this cell board, which I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with this visually speaking, but this is always present. And what this will do is when you drag a card over to the cell board, it will be sold and disappear, and this blood will increment. So I think what I'm going to do is, and the kind of direction that I'm going is that there will be currencies here, and those will be the 4 humors from... Humorism is like a ancient sort of medical framework, I guess, that is most commonly associated with like the Middle Ages, like you think plague doctors and all that stuff, but it was actually formulated at first by the ancient Greeks. Anyway, the 4 humors being blood, phlegm, black bile, and yellow bile. There are other names for them, but those are the names that I'm going to use. And so I think those are going to be the 4 currencies of the game. And when you sell a card, you will get blood. And the blood is sort of going to be, I think, the main currency of the game. And that's going to be what you use to interact with the shop and all those kinds of things. Obviously, I'm going to have to figure out uses for the other currencies, the other 3 humors. I may end up just combining the whole thing into one currency, just call it humors or whatever, but I'm going to try to think of some ways to include the other currencies. I think obviously for like a meta progression system, you know, like yellow bile, black bile, phlegm, those things could be used for like a meta progression or some other kind of events in the game, but all of that is to be determined, you know? So anyway, I think I should start doing some stuff that makes use of this blood. So what I'm thinking about doing is, for this stream anyway, is, let's see, let's just put the mutton in here and just win. So you get these, oh, that should not be, get another God mode in here. So upgrade card, increase health, enchant. So this increase health right now, I think this would be a good opportunity, and enchantments would be a good opportunity too, to use blood currency. So if I go to increase health right now, it just gives me a random number, but I think what would be cool is if I did an increase health and then it gave me 3 different options. I could take a free option that increases my health a little bit, or I could spend blood for increasing numbers of health. And then of course the blood can be used in the shop as well. So yeah, I think it's just a matter of like building out some of this content now and seeing how all that works, and just going from there. So I got to do an enchantment system that's not yet available, and this upgrade card really shouldn't appear until you have the ability to combine 2 cards. So the card upgrading, if you recall, requires 2 cards of the same type, and then I click upgrade. It destroys the 1 card that you place down in this board, and then it creates an upgraded card here. So I actually just upgraded my God mode card. It now does 4,000 damage instead of 2,000. And yeah. So I think the framework is shaping up here. It just gotta obviously do a ton of work here. Like I said, I don't think any of this stuff is set in stone. Like, I don't really like the inventory and sell, and I don't know. There's a lot to figure out here, but I figured just do one thing at a time and keep building out the game one piece at a time. And we'll see how it goes. So, where does that leave us? So yes, Adam says need a cooler begin button. Yeah, so buttons are a thing that I still need to figure out. I'm really struggling to come up with like good UI inspiration here. I'm not entirely in love with the health bar decoration here, and also the buttons. I don't know what the button should be. I kind of want to do something more thematic than just a button. Like actually draw some kind of art. Like, because I really like, let's just, I don't know, increase health. I really like this little interactivity here. So I'm thinking about doing more stuff like this. My cat is going crazy right now. He won't shut up. I'm trying to focus. Anyway, so yeah, I like these kind of interactive elements. So I think maybe instead of doing traditional buttons, I'm going to try to figure out more ways of doing this kind of thing. And just draw art for the interactive elements. But yeah, I don't know. Like these could be like little portraits instead of buttons here. So it could be like a little square portrait or a kind of arched portrait. Ooh, you know, it'd be kind of cool. It'd be kind of cool to do like stained glass windows for each of the options. But would I be able to do that with a limited color palette? I should be able to. Stained glass windows would be kind of cool, actually. Actually, let's just mock something up like that. Like I said, this is going to be kind of just like a stream where I just do random stuff. Just trying to get the game in place. So, okay, so let's put this here. So yeah, let's do this. So I took a screenshot so I can see everything in proportion. Let's see what kind of stained glass thing I can do here. I think that'd be really cool. So, Gonna need like a symmetry. Oh, it shows the line of symmetry. Very nice. Okay. I don't want to make it too big because that's gonna strain my art capabilities, but that's probably too big. I feel like I've distracted you now. No. No, the chat is not a distraction because I can look at the chat whenever I have a breakpoint. A breakpoint. Whenever I have a sort of gap in my train of thought. Did I do this wrong? It's kind of weird. That curve is kind of weird, but I will fix that maybe later. That actually doesn't look terrible. I have to redo this inner line though. Okay, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Okay, we're not going to worry about it too much. So what would this look like? So if I were to do a stained glass window, let's just do some, I don't know, upgrade card. I guess that would be kind of simple. I'm just going to do something very basic here. And I don't know how to get like a stained glass effect here, but we're going to try it. Oops. We are going to try it. Let's start with that and then... Okay, that works, I suppose. I should have done another axis of symmetry here. Oh well. Cool. That looks pretty good. And then I would want to do some kind of like, I guess like, there's actually quite a lot to fit in here. That's okay. I don't want to go necessarily overboard with this, but... Yeah, the other problem is that I just don't... I would need to use darker colors. I think it's going to be actually relatively hard to do this. Oops. Thank goodness. The cat has now bothered his sister to play, which means that he will not be bothering me for a little bit. So I don't know, this is kind of like a not very good stained glass window, I suppose, but the other problem is that it's not symmetrical at the top, so I'll need to just add like little pieces here on the side. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm not going to keep these colors. I'm just going to fill in these blocks, and then I can figure out what I want to do with the colors later. Okay, you know what? This doesn't look terrible, actually. So now the question is, what am I going to do about these colors? Do I want to do something like this? And then maybe add some highlights and stuff? What does it look like if I outline it? Honestly, this might be an okay background just to make it all that dark color. Maybe do some Something like that. I don't know. I don't know. Does it look like I know what I'm doing? That's actually kind of a nice color for like a highlight here. Really, all I need to do is just find just a good pattern, I guess you could say. Just a good way of like simply designing these chunks. That looks all right. I mean, these bigger chunks might need to be broken up some more. Yeah, I don't know. One pixel shorter on the icon. Thank you. Yeah. So, I don't know. We'll have to see how this goes. Don't really have a whole lot of colors, but I think as long as I use sort of like the white and this green here. Actually, you know what? Oh, wait. Yeah, as long as I use the white and this green for like the symbol and then do the other colors the way that I've done them, I think it will be okay. Anyway, thank you so much, Snowbill, for the IDR 20,000. Very much appreciate that. And with the message yummers, of course. And thank you also for pointing out the 1 pixel shorter issue. That is not something that I noticed, so it's very much appreciated. I wonder if it's worth doing the colors or just make it white. Yeah, that's probably fine. So I don't know. Something like this. And then I can, of course, I can take this and make this more stylistic here. I don't know if it's useful to do this necessarily. Maybe not. You know what I might do? I wonder if it's better to do this. And then here. Oh, I'm doing this on the wrong layer too, aren't I? Yep. Oops. I do need to save this, but not yet. Okay, frame. Assets, UI. I'll just create a new event, I guess I'll call it. Portrait. Portraits.asprite. So I'll just save that in there for now. So the frame now, I'm going to lock the glass and just be on the frame layer. See how this goes. It doesn't look terrible. I mean, it's not the most beautiful thing in the world, but I don't think it's bad. I think it kind of conveys what I'm trying to convey. Question is, do I want to do something like this? And then... I'm just drawing stuff, I don't know. Trying to just get a pattern in place. I think I should be using... Let's see. Actually, this doesn't look bad. And then I wonder if I do like little... What do they call these in like cathedrals and whatnot? There's like a... I think there's a name for this stuff. Oh well, I don't know. Perfect. And we'll just take this and we'll just... The frame should actually go above the glass here. There we go. This would be easier if I do this, yeah. So we'll do this. And just to make sure, I'm actually going to outline the entire inner part of this with a single black pixel. And I might as well fill in, well, I can't actually do that. And then I might as well outline this as well. We'll add some more detail here real quick. I probably shouldn't go too far without seeing how this looks. I mean, I guess I have the reference here. So you can imagine 3 of these stacked. I think that would work. Ooh, I should probably test that. Duplicate. Duplicate. Yeah, that'll be fine. Cool. Okay. I think with just a little bit more art here, it'll be fine. But let's see. Yeah, this is not, it's not looking bad actually. If I do say so myself. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just drawing stuff, waiting for inspiration to strike. I'll probably have to look at some reference pictures of stained glass windows at some point, but for now, we'll just do this. I almost wish that I probably should do... Actually, that looks kind of good. Yeah. That does not look terrible. I don't think. I don't know. This probably doesn't look that great, but let's see. Let's see. Wonder if I should I do black there instead? Maybe. I might do... thicken this line up a little bit. I think the stained glass art itself could use some work, but I think the frame is fine. Buttresses, IDK. Yeah, that's on the outside. Crenellation. Good word. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for, right? Wouldn't the highlights be lower down or dark to light, since the black borders would stick out a little bit, blocking the light? Would the highlights be lower down or dark to light? The highlights be lower down? I'm not sure I understand what you mean. On the panes. So these highlights here on the glass itself. You're saying put them on the bottom? Dark to light. Why would it be dark to light? That might look better though. Let's see. Oh, there's this. That needs to change. So dark to light, since the black borders would stick out a little bit, blocking the light. Oh, I see. So the black borders on the tops, right? Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So I wonder if actually doing a shadow then at the tops instead of a highlight, and then doing the highlight at the bottom. Maybe that would help a little bit. Ooh. That might be the key here. I can't do that with these dark ones, so that's a little bit unfortunate, but that's okay. I understand what you're saying, I think. Okay, then these. We'll see how this looks. Can't really do anything with these. I could do it with this though. Or no, dark up here. I suppose I can do a dark here as well with this color. Okay. I see what you're saying. Oops. Okay, what did I miss? This probably should just be that color, or just a plain... You know what, I'll just make those dark. Those are just like little extra pieces, I guess. Did I miss anything? This color is probably wrong, actually. This needs to be like this. These are wrong. Actually, maybe I should have kept... Now it looks too monochromatic, but maybe that's okay. Maybe I'll go back to that. I don't think it matters, actually. Let's see. I think for the sake of not being monochromatic, I'll do that. I don't know. What do we think? Dark to light because the light is coming from above. Black separation. Yeah. I don't know. Does that look all right? I think these highlights are still kind of weird here, but the unfortunate thing about this color is I don't really have many options. What if I made the highlights thicker? Would that improve things a little bit? It's hard to give the impression of glass, just generally speaking, with pixel art, but it seems to be even harder when I've got a limited color palette here. I do think that looks better, though. Before it looked a little like rock sticking out. Yeah, I think this is better. I think this is better. Honestly, I think I could probably do a better job with the pattern because it still kind of looks like cobblestone. But I'm not going to spend too much time on that right now. I think what I'll do is... you know what I could do? No, I can't do that. Anyway. Wonder if I should do a more gradient approach where the edges around the frame, the panes around the frame edges are all dark. And then as you get into the center, they become this color. And then the symbol is the white and green. I'll have to play with it a little bit. Perhaps without highlights. So keep the dark parts and just remove the highlights here. So this is a more flat look. So here's what it looks like flat. What do you think about that? So I removed the highlights. Does that look better? I think it kind of looks better actually, because it looks like they're more embedded. It is a flatter design, but I think I could probably still make the actual pattern better. I think the pattern would work, but with lighter colors. Well, I don't have that many lighter colors to work with, but let's try it. So there's red. Oops. Okay, let's change these. I'm just gonna change these temporarily to that. This will make those red. Oh, actually, wait a minute. Now I kind of feel like I need highlights back, or shadows back there. What if I just, hold on a second. I don't know, what are we thinking? Just make them all the same color? A little bit lighter? Oh, let me get back to where I was. Is this where I was? Yeah. What's the color selection shortcut you're using? You mean like this marquee tool? So I'm using the W magic wand tool. So that's W with contiguous turned off here. But I'm also Alt is the way that you can select colors. You hold Alt and click. I'm kind of wondering if these should just all be like a red or something. Like this red color. That might actually work pretty nicely. Hold on a second. This is a little bit annoying. I have to redo all these highlights, but you know, this is the process of iterating. What if I just did all red? All red with these blue highlights? Does that look, or no, these wouldn't be highlights. These would have to be darker, wouldn't they? I kind of like it though. What's the typical size you go for in a project window, like 320, 240? 640 by 360. So 640 by 360 because it's like a good balance between having enough space to show like text and stuff, but also if you double the size, it's 1280 by 720. If you triple the size, it's 1920 by 1080. And if you quadruple the size, it's 2560 by 1440. So that's like all of the major 16:9 resolutions. Never tried that tool. It's going to save me so much time. Yeah, I'm still learning how to be efficient with A Sprite here. Okay, so I don't know. How do we feel about this? I kind of like all of the panes being red. That kind of gives it a very ominous, like unholy kind of vibe. You know what I mean? Now, I know these highlights are wrong, but I kind of do like how this blue works. It looks very like, I don't know. What's the word I want to use here? It's like very in your face, kind of bold. You know, the other thing I could do, which would be really interesting, is I could mute the colors until you've hovered over it. So if I took this and duplicated this, glass muted, and let's say I just turned all these down and then took this and turned that to that. And so I go from muted to highlight, right? I'd probably want to do the same for the symbol. Or maybe not. You know, I could keep the symbol the way it is, but what's the typical size you go for in sprites if there's any? Usually I'm kind of like around the 32 by 32 canvas size for things. Actually, though, this game is weird. It's built on like an 18 by 18 grid, which is just a little bit strange, but that's the way I'm going with it. But in this case, like what I've done here is I've just took a screenshot. So this is like a 640 by 360 canvas. And this is sort of the relative sizes of everything. And so I'm just kind of like, I didn't measure this out. I just kind of ballparked what a good size for this would be. And it ended up being 59 by 59. So it's like, I'm not too concerned about the exact sizes, but like these grids in here, these are 18 by 18, I think. Yeah, 18 by 18. I don't know. I kind of like this. Maybe I should reverse the highlights still. Keep the color changes very clear that a Gothic glass window, which is amazing for pixel art with limited palette. You like it? Okay. I like it too. I might still reverse though. I think I did the highlights wrong again, so I'm gonna reverse the highlights once again. Is there an easy way to unselect? Honestly, a flat color might work too. And that's not just me being lazy, but let's what color did I use? I used this blue. So let's just go ahead and add these highlights real quick to the bottom instead. And we'll see what's what. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. That looks pretty cool, actually. And then we'll mute the colors. Oops. I don't want to change the highlights of the, or the shading of the icon though. So muted, highlighted, muted, highlighted, muted, highlighted. 320 by 184, 80 by 720. Yeah, those are all good resolutions, I think. Yeah, there's no like rule really, you know. I think that it depends on what kind of game you're making. But like I said, around the 32 by 32, a lot of times it's smaller, a lot of times it's bigger. Kind of limited on project resolution if you want the resolution to match up with the aspect ratio, yeah. You like the muted? Well, the thing is that I'm thinking, Brekek, is that it becomes this when you hover over it. So this is what it will look like when you're not hovered over it, and this is what it will do when you're hovered over it. And then I'm also going to do that, let's duplicate this. Frame outline. I'm also going to do what I did with the, which is, whoops, do this. So the same thing I did with the shovel. Add a thick border in here, and then I don't want this inner part. So this will be like the hover state here. Or no. This will be the hover state, and then this will be the default state. That looks pretty good, actually. No offense. I think this curve is still kind of weird up here, but I think I'll just ignore it. It's fine. Yeah. I actually think this turned out pretty good. I'm glad I went on that little detour. So these could be like the event selection things now. Okay, cool. So let's, I guess there's nothing to do now except get this implemented. I'm obviously going to have to draw different icons for each of the events, but, and what I might do, oh, what did I do here? Oh, the frame outline. Oh, okay, hold on. This frame outline needs to be trimmed up a little bit. Okay. Cool. All right, so what I'll do actually is I'll just remove this reference here. Let's select the frame outline sprite crop. Cool. Sweet. So what I might do though is instead of drawing a different pattern for every one, what I might do is take this icon here, separate this out, and then fill in that center section. Although that's not going to work that well. I was thinking I'll just like overlay an icon on top of the glass, but that's not gonna, it's gonna mess up some of the highlighting and stuff, but I'm not sure if that's a huge issue. I don't think that's a huge issue, but what I am gonna do, should I add a black background to it? I don't think I need to, actually. Okay, we'll just go with this. So we got the frame, we got glass. So I do want to separate the icon though, for sure. So here's what I'm going to do just for clarity purposes, is I'm going to create the background layer here. Okay, so this glass muted. I'm actually going to delete this because what I need to do is I need to take this icon out and put this as an icon. Okay, let's get rid of the background. Let's just focus on the icon. Give it an outline. Okay, now this glass portion here, I'm gonna want to build some more. Unfortunately, now I've made the pattern around having a cross-shaped icon, so that's not necessarily that great, but I think I can just sort of like mask it up a little bit. It looks a little awkward, but it's fine. It's fine. I can make this a little bit of a different shape so it's not so obvious. I feel like I'm a tattoo artist masking a bad tattoo here. Okay, that's a decent enough masking here. Okay, so I do need to duplicate this now. Glass, muted. And we'll switch all this back over. Huh? Glass muted. Why is this not working? Did I do something wrong? Excuse me? Huh? What is going on? I suppose these can be deleted, actually. Well, it's fine. Why am I not allowed to... That's odd. What? Why is that happening? What in the world? Is something wrong? Hold on. What is going on? My color selection is just like completely bonkers right now. Did A-Sprite get like mega bugged or something? What's going on? Okay, something's very wrong. I don't know what's going on here. I must have changed something. So when I select this color, it is just selecting nonsense. What? It's selecting everything but... Hold up. That's so weird. We need a demo version ASAP. Yeah, I gotta get that. Yeah, the muted looks good. Thank you, Tiago. Thank you, Brackhack. Hello, Maikun Dev. What did I miss? Not much. Just doing some art for the event selection. And also struggling with A-Sprite and why it's not respecting... I don't understand. The fill tool doesn't even work. If I select fill... and I put it here, it fills all of this too. I don't understand. It's like this tolerance value isn't correct or something. Did I do something wrong? I don't understand. Oh, my tolerance is still at 255 for some reason. What is going on? How did I get into this spot? Well, this is kind of unfortunate. Okay, well, I'm just going to work around this for now. But it's very concerning why that's happening. Okay, anyway. So we got glass muted. Okay, here's the icon. Here's the frame outline. Here's the background. Okay. I don't know what's going on, but I hope that doesn't remain broken because that's going to be very annoying later. But that's all right. Okay, so we're going to hide the background now. And what I will do is I will do this. File, scripts, export layers. We are not going to trim, and we're going to save the sprite. Okay. And this started taking forever too for some reason. I don't know why. Exported 5 layers. Still quicker than what I could do myself. Cool. All right. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to create a scene for those event types and get the event or the mouse handling and all that stuff in place. So I'm going to go ahead and do that after I take a quick 2-minute break. So in the meantime, while I'm on my 2-minute break, please check out the links in the description below. Gunforged is on sale right now, 30% off. So if you've been wanting to purchase it to support me or just to get it because it's fun, now is a good time to do it. I also have my Udemy courses available for sale. Those are a great way to support me, and you can learn how to build a complete game in the Godot engine. So give me just 2 minutes. I'll be right back, and then we will implement this new stained glass window into the game. Okay, I'm back. So let's see how we want to do. So we have got like event selection here already. So what I'm going to do is just work within this situation here. How did I do my booster stuff? So a lot of these are actually node 2Ds. And why are they node 2Ds? That's a good question. So a lot of these are just sprite nodes in here. Probably because I had particles and stuff. Might as well just follow this pattern, honestly. So yeah, so let's not save whatever I did there. I mean, I know that, what is the size here? Is it 65 by 65? So I'll just set the custom minimum size here to 65 by 65 to match. And then these are going to ultimately go away. So I'm just going to delete those. Okay. So let's actually set up a node 2D visuals. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do that. Let's do event frame glass. Sweet. Okay, so all of it's all set up. So now let's see. These all need to go under visuals. So I don't want these to be centered. So let's do this. Transform position to 0, turn off centered. Okay. Cool. I may need to center some things, but we've got the frame outline. I want this to be, oops, at the bottom. The frame needs to be here as well. Icon, yes, glass muted. Glass highlighted. So now all I need to do is just turn on and off the glass highlighted, and then on and off the frame outline based on the mouse hover state. Okay, so let's mark this as unique name. Nope, this one as unique name, and this one as unique name. Okay, and then let's go into the event selection here. This probably needs to have its mouse filter set to stop. And what we'll do is in here, we need node private sprite 2D frame outline. Node private sprite 2D frame, no, glass highlighted. Is it highlighted or highlit? I think it's highlighted. So we need to connect to the GUI input. So GUI input plus equals on GUI input. EVT. EVT dot is action pressed. Game constants dot action click left. We'll deal with that later. Mouse entered plus equals on mouse entered, mouse exited. This needs to be private. I just want a general highlight update, void update highlight. Bool highlighted. Okay, so that's good. Frame outline invisible equals highlighted, yes. And then we're gonna call update highlight false in the ready method just to make sure everything's set up correctly. Okay, if is action pressed, action click left, I can then emit signal selected. Emit signal selected. And we don't have these labeler buttons anymore. So this goes away. Set event type. So this is where I'm going to need, how did I do it in my booster here? I've got like this little text off to the left here, and I think that's probably what I want to do here. So I'm just going to copy this and put this over here. And how am I actually positioning this thing? It's shrink center. What about this? Let's just reduce that. Actually, custom minimum size. Oh yeah, I was just doing this really hacky way of centering it. just gonna roughly like visually align it here. How did I get... Yeah, I'm gonna need to put some space here as well. Can I just do a margin container here? Oops. What am I missing? Oh, you know what? This probably needs to go away. I'm getting lost. Huh? Okay, I'm getting confused now. All right, let's go back to the way it was. 18 is correct. What is going on? Oh, 9. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what was happening there. Okay, well, how am I supposed to put some padding here now? Am I allowed to do this? Does that work? I don't know if that's gonna work. The problem is I need this to... Oh yeah, it does work. Look at that. Okay, it was just as simple as offsetting the position there. Very nice. The UI stuff can be a little bit finicky, but that's all right. So now it's just a matter of hiding and showing this text control, and then I'll just put a little blurb about what type of event this is. So... something like that. This actually doesn't need to be a rich text label anymore, I don't think. I wonder if I should just change this type to a label and call it good. Yeah, I don't need this to be a BB code enabled thing. So this is just a normal description label. Okay, so let's grab a reference to the text control, node private control, text control, node private label, description label, set event type. Okay, description label dot text, increase board size, select max health increase. We'll just call it max health increase. Event type dot draw. What? That's not a real event type. Event type dot alchemy. Combine. Let's do alchemize cards. Event type dot enchant. Add enchantment to card. Event type dot shop. Am I missing one? Upgrade card. Okay, am I missing any? No. Cool. Alrighty, so let's see. Oh, I need to accept event in here. Okay, and then event selection container. I just want to see what this looks like. Because what I might do... No, this is actually perfect. That's actually perfect. Okay, let's see what happens. It'd be cool if the cross icon on the glass could change depending on what event it is, so you can tell without hovering over it. Yes, that's the plan. I'll do an icon for each of the different types, but right now the plus is just like a placeholder here. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. But yeah, definitely agree with you, Fiskets. Okay, let's just go God mode real quick. Boom. And we'll add some animations to it as well later on, but this should be good. Okay, look at that. So these are a little bit far off the edge. Why is that? I think what I should do is this event selection here. I almost think that I should push this over a little bit. So I might just need to push it over. I'll have to manually align this to some extent, because the text can be variable, and so I wonder if that's just, hold on a second. Let me undo what I just did. Let me go to my game UI. I wonder if there's just too much padding on the right half container here. Instantiate event selection. Event selection. Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's in the center of the right half of the screen, but it's just, I feel like there's too much padding over here. I'm just stubbing these things out a little bit. I do think that this needs to be over a little bit. I'm going to use a property that I've never really used before. Stretch ratio. I'm going to turn this down to 0.75. So this is not really a right half anymore. So this is now taking up, well, I don't know what the number exactly would be, but it's taking up a little bit over half of the screen. And this is taking up 75% of the remaining half, or if you were to divide the screen in half, this is taking up only 75% of that half using this stretch ratio here. That might do it. That might do it. Okay, so I'm going to delete these things. Let's see what that does. I think that's the first time in history that I've ever used that stretch ratio property for real. But that should just shift it over a little bit, make it a little bit nicer. Yeah, that looks much nicer. So there's not so much room being taken up over here. Honestly, I may actually push that over even more. Let's do right half container. Let's try 0.6. I don't want to make it too small, but I also don't want it to be, I just want it to sit comfortably. Yeah, see, that might be a little bit too much. Yeah, I don't know. Let's do 0.7. So instead of 0.75, we'll do 0.7. A lot of this UI is going to change, I'm sure, but we'll animate those in. These texts should only appear to after you've hovered over something, but I think this looks pretty nice, actually. Upgraded card, that takes me to the card upgrade. Cool. So let me make that text appear. Text control.visible equals highlighted. And this should make it look more balanced even still. Now you know what? Now I think this should go back to 0.75. I don't know, I keep changing my mind. Whatever, it's fine. I guess the text just being there was kind of throwing me off a little bit. Cool. Yeah, there's a lot of empty space here. I gotta figure out what to do about that, but one thing at a time, I suppose. Add enchantment to card, max health increase. So one thing that I wanted to do for the max health increase is when you select it, instead of it giving you a random number, I want there to be more options, and then you can either get a free health upgrade that costs nothing, or you can choose between 2 higher tier ones that would cost blood. And again, you get blood by just selling things, so I can sell that, boom, I got some blood there. I can sell this, boom, blood. And the sale right now is just very simple. It's how many cells does the card occupy multiplied by its tier. So if you sell a tier 3 card that takes 4 cells, you'll get 12 blood. That same card at tier 1 would be 4. So I don't know if that scaling is going to stay in. I'm trying to just like, I don't know, I've always been very fascinated with just like keeping numbers very low and predictable, you know? And not coming up with like a super fancy algorithm for the pricing, just like very straightforward, you know, based on its tier and based on how big it is, that's how much it's worth. I don't know. Anyway. Things are shaping up though. I like this. I like this a lot. Yeah. I think there's definitely room for like environment art in here somewhere, but I gotta figure that out still. But I like how this is looking. So we'll do an icon for each of the different types. This plus is supposed to be for upgrading a card. But yeah, that's cool. So we can make these slide in or something, or do I want to make them slide in or do something different? You know, it'd be kind of fun. I could do like vines or something around the bottom to give it a little bit more visual flair. I kind of tempted to do that right now, but I'm not going to. Do we want to work on animations for this? I don't think so. I think the whole goal of the stream was to work on the game loop, and I haven't done that yet. I've just been doing art. Anyway. So upgrade card. Yeah. Can I just say something? I love this cursor. This cursor turned out so good. It's so thematic. I love it. Anyway. I do want to try the multiple health choices. And then make it cost blood per choice. I'm going to need to do a lot of art for this stuff, because then I'll need art for each of the blood choices. I'm just realizing something about the health bar there that I want to fix real quick. Current health label. I'm going to do some stuff here. Font outline color, outline size, shadow outline size. We'll turn this off. Or no. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Doing your upgrade, dang, your upgrade cards are so beautiful. I've gone through like 5 iterations of them in my game, and they never feel interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's really hard. I'm really struggling with this game. In some respects, it's easier to make art for a game like Gunforge because it's like, oh, here's a gun with this theme, and like here's an enemy that looks like this. But for a very UI heavy game like this, trying to come up with like nice chunky animations and transitions and, you know, adding some life to an otherwise relatively static screen is actually very, very difficult. At least I'm finding it to be very difficult. I'm sure this whole thing is probably going to go through like 5 iterations, like you said, because it's just not, you know, it's not my forte, I guess you could say. So I definitely feel your pain. The booster packs, like these things, these turned out really good, but I have to credit my friend who gave me the idea, because I was like, I don't know if I want to do booster packs or whatever. He's like, well, you could do them like graves or something. I was like, oh, wow, yeah. Do them like graves where you dig them up. So that was mostly my friend's idea. That wasn't even mine. I mean, obviously I drew the art and stuff, but... And then this, I don't know where this, you know, this is the thing. It's like, the problem with like game dev is sometimes you just have to wait for something to come to you. Like you can't just sit down and be like, okay, I'm gonna come up with a creative idea now. It's just like, I'll just be doing something random during the day, like driving somewhere, and I'll see, like, I told this story already, but I was driving to a friend's house and I had to stop my car because there were some crows walking across the road. And I was like, a crow card would be cool to add to the game. You know, it's like, that wasn't something that I brainstormed. It just appeared. And I was like, oh, I don't even know where the stained glass window idea came from. I just woke up this morning and I was like, that would be cool. So it's like, there's no rhyme or reason to it, which complicates things. Because if you're trying to be productive on your game and you have no ideas, then it's like, kind of feels bad. My favorite part of game dev is stretching those skills that aren't used normally for regular programming. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why I like it too, for sure. Are you going to sell the God Mode Mutton as a $39.99 DLC? Would buy. I mean, it would be kind of funny to put the God Mode like Mutton as like a cheat code or something in the game. I wonder if that would be relatively easy. Just like a little Easter egg people can unlock. Or like people, like you could do like what, you know how roguelikes have like those run modifiers that like disable achievements and stuff, but it's just kind of like a goof off mode. It could be like, you know, one of the modifiers is you have a God Mode Mutton in your inventory. And so if you're like practicing or whatever, and you don't want your run to end, you can just be like, well, okay, I'll skip this combat by like just putting the mutton in there, you know? It'd be kind of interesting. I'll definitely find a place for it, I think. I still have to decide if I want the enemy faction to be villagers and whatnot. I think I will do that. I think that this game is going to be helped greatly by having a variety of themes and cards and stuff. So I think I will do like a villager faction and continue on with that. It shouldn't be that difficult because I can't... The villagers don't necessarily need to have their own unique abilities. I mean, some of them will. Like there will be some abilities that you can't get on any of your cards. But I think for the most part, they'll just be reusing the abilities that I've already made. And they'll just be thematically different just for the sake of visual variety. Okay, upgrade a card, increase board size, add enchantment to card. Upgrade a card, increase board size. All right, let me commit what I have because this actually turned out very good. Add event selection art. Turn-based UI games are harder to make in IMO. Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of state that you have to manage and do a lot of coordination, which sounds weird, right? It sounds like there would be a lot more happening in a like a real-time game. And I guess in some respects there is, but yeah, it's just different, I guess. I don't know. You could have like a window smashing animation for the glass. Yeah, something like that would be cool. Yeah, I think that would definitely be doable. Yeah, I could see it like click, all those window panes just become particles, screen shake, and then you get transitioned into your whatever. I could definitely do that. I can definitely do that. But we're not going to focus on animations just yet, because what I want to do is I want to offer a health selection. So I'm kind of borrowing this idea from The Bazaar, which is a really cool game you should play, or at least to just check it out. That's like an asynchronous inventory battler game. But what I like about The Bazaar is that whenever you choose, like you want to do a health upgrade, you have the option of spending money to get a better health upgrade. Or you could take a free one. So I'm basically just gonna like copy that shamelessly. I think that giving the player lots of opportunities to spend their blood to get more powerful upgrades, I think is actually a pretty good idea. So whatever. Let's see. So I'm gonna create a new scene here. Health. And the reason I'm focusing on health right now is because this is going to be one of the most important aspects of the game. Obviously, like I said earlier in some earlier streams, I don't want to make any part of the player progression automatic. I want to make every part of the player progression the result of a player choice. So your health is only going to increase if you choose to increase your health. Your cards are only going to become more powerful if you choose to upgrade your cards, so on and so forth. If you choose to do nothing, then you'll just stay at like however you start the game permanently, which obviously probably isn't going to work out that well. So I don't want to do any sort of like automatic progression, which is something that I think The Bazaar has, if I'm not mistaken. I think you can level up and like your health will increase and everything. I don't want to do that in this game. I want to make all of your power directly related to choices that you've made. Health option container, I guess. Alchemy board. I might need to reorganize this later, but health option container. Okay. So I'm almost thinking like, I wonder if there's something on Google. I hope this is not going to be too graphic for the YouTube, but we'll find out. So I'm looking for like a medieval, oh, I said health transfusion. Let me just make sure the results are not too gory here. Okay. Medieval blood transfusion. So like something like this, right? So if I do like an old-timey kind of alchemical health thing and just make it more like bigger and more complex depending on the health option you choose. Maybe include some leeches or something. Animal human blood transfusion. Ew. What is, what? Okay, I'm gonna have to read up on this later. The first, what? First blood transfusion was done between a human and an animal? Oh, that's not good. I think this is like very cool. I don't know what it is, but should I draw some art for this now or should I just do, I think I'm just gonna follow this pattern, what I've got set up. So like 3 options, all the options have some nice art associated with them. You choose one of the options and you continue on. And so I'll do that even when there's sub options. So for instance, if I do, so I've got these 3 options, right? Boom, select, get this, choose a card. And then here, 3 options. Okay, I'm going to do, well, I don't have health here, so I'll just, there's no way to exit out of this screen either, so I'm stuck. Wonder if I should allow the player to go back or if they should have to commit to their choice. I'm trying to find health. Max health increase. Yeah, so if I were to select this one, then 3 more options would come in here, and it would be like 3 sets of whatever blood transfusion kits or whatever, with them getting progressively more impressive, with the most impressive one costing the most blood to increase your health. But I probably should just get the mechanics of it working first, I think. Yeah, I probably should get the mechanics of it working first. Okay. Well, this is going to be relatively simple anyway. Add a button. I do need better buttons, but I think, honestly, I think I'm just not going to use buttons. I don't really see a way that I can make a nice looking button. I would rather just draw the art like I've shown you, where like the stained glass window or the gravestones or the blood transfusion kits. I think every clickable element, I'll just do a piece of art for it. I think that's going to look much nicer. Like even the begin combat here, I'll come up with some kind of like symbol or something that's like begin, you know, and you click it and then it will have like a nice animation or whatever, and then it can go. It could even just be like a sword or something, you know, like crossed swords or something. Anyway, I'm sure I'll think of something later, but for implementing the mechanics, just doing a simple button is fine. I'll just call it get, I don't know. So what I'll probably want to do as well is this HBox container, texture rect, nope, I didn't mean to do that. Stretch mode, keep. Okay, favorite this as well. New texture, new atlas texture, humors. So these are my humors that I drew up. Blood, yellow bile, phlegm, black bile. I don't have that many colors to work with, so I may redo that art. I like the blood. The blood turned out good, but I don't know how to draw yellow bile. Come on. I'm trying to do something a little bit fancy here. Maybe not too fancy. It doesn't really matter what the layout is, because it's going to change when I do the art for this. So save this branch as a scene, scenes UI, health option. Oh, I need to create a script folder for that. Okay. Game.ui.health. What do I need? Cost label, description label, and button. Node, private label, cost label. There we go. How does it know what I need? Or no. No, I did one wrong. Hold on. Okay, public override void ready. Private string format string. Set amount. This format string is going to be based on description label dot text. String.format format string amount. Cool. Let's do set increase amount just to be a little bit more descriptive here. So we got cost. Okay, perfect. Button.pressed, emit signal. So this needs to be emit signal selected. Okay. Cross swords in front of a shield could work. Yeah, something like that. I mean, that's more like medieval fantasy as opposed to like alchemical necromancy, but I think there's a way I can modify it to some extent. Yeah, I don't know. I have to think about it. Something like that, though, would work. I also don't like doing this on button pressed. Okay, so there's my health options. So I'm going to need to go to my health container now. Health option container. So, now the question is, how do I actually want to do this? Let's just set up the three options first. Public override void ready for var I equals 0, I is less than 3i plus plus. Node private resource preloader. Resource preloader. Instance scene or null. Health option. This doesn't need to be there. Add child health option. Health option dot set cost. Let's just do I times 10 or I times 5. Health option dot set increase amount. I'll have to pass in all of that. I don't like doing game logic in the UI, so I'll have to inform the UI what the costs and options should be. But let's just do times 5 here just to test it. On health option selected, we're going to need to do a lambda here actually. So let's do var cost, var health increase. Yeah. So something like that. Okay, so now the big thing is in the run manager here. When I select the health option, enemy event type that max health. So, I need a better framework for this. Cursor's autocomplete is very fast compared to Copilot. Is it? That's good to hear. I'm very much enjoying the autocomplete for the most part. I need a better way of managing event state. I wonder if... Because I'm managing all kinds of state here, which I don't like. I wonder if I should use a hierarchical state machine, which is basically just nested state machines. So I create a new state machine for every event type, and then the event type can run its various states until it has signaled that it's done, and then the run manager can take over with the overall sort of state management. But I keep having to store like state-specific data at the run manager level, and this is going to become very, very unwieldy very quickly. So for example, when I select this event state, this goes to state combat preparation. This now needs to go to the health options state, which would have to be a new state here in the run manager. But this is going to get, I mean, you can just imagine all the permutations. I guess permutations is the wrong word, but just imagine all the additional states that need to be added for all kinds of different events. I think it would be better if I just said, okay, this is the event that the player has selected, and now go to this state machine and do that state machine loop until it's finished, and then you can return to the run manager state machine. So I think that's probably what I need to do. I'm just not exactly sure how I want to approach that. And the other question is, do I want to do that right now? Is emit signal selected from the code generator? Yeah, from Godot. Yeah, the source generator. So I just found this out yesterday, which is kind of embarrassing because I've been using Godot with C# for a while. But yeah, this emit signal selected. So the Godot source generators, they will emit, or they will generate protected methods to specifically emit whatever signals you've got configured with the proper types as arguments. And you can see here that all this does is this just does the typical formula, signal name.selected, and then puts the cost and health increase in there, or whatever arguments. But nice type safety here, which I just found out. So yeah, that's good. Hello, Crunked. Welcome to the stream. Just subbed and grabbed Gunforge. Thank you so much, Crunked. I very much appreciate that. And yeah, if anyone else is watching the VOD or watching live right now, as of this recording, Gunforge is on sale for 30% off for the remainder of the week. So for a week, basically. So get it while you can. It's also a great way of supporting me. And if you do play it, leave a review. I very much appreciate that. Anyway, add over. I've been making my own emitter methods. Yeah, I've made the same mistake. It's okay. We're allowed to make mistakes. Actually, the only reason that I figured this out is because I was just looking at the generated code and I was like, wait a minute. Love roguelikes. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So do I want to go down this rabbit hole of like trying to do event state machines? I think I do. Is that technically a hierarchical state machine? I think it is. I think a hierarchical state machine is just nested state machines, which is essentially what I'm going to be doing. I don't know if I'm doing this right. Private immediate state machine. Can I use the immediate state machine here? I'll try this with my... Okay, before I go any further, okay, I think what I want to do is, let me see. Do I want to put another manager node here? I'm just trying to think of what the best approach would be to... I don't want to put all the events, different state machines in a single script because that's the same problem that I'm trying to avoid. What I want is one script per event state machine. The problem is that there's some information that needs to be passed into each of those state machines, like this game UI node. It needs to know where the game UI is. So I'm wondering if I... Yeah, I don't know. Is this Gunforged you are working on? No, I'm working on a new game. Yeah, it's a collectible card game, auto battler inventory management thing. Basically the idea is that, let's see if I have... Oh. I guess I can run the game. So basically the idea is that it's like, you get these cards, if it would run, let's see. So you get these cards, and these cards can be all kinds of things, like this is a minion card, and it has an ability here, it deals 6 damage. And then there's other cards, like ritual cards, like this incense here, which has an ability that reduces the remaining turns of adjacent minion cards by 1. And so the idea is that you'll have a bunch of these cards, some of which will deal direct damage to the enemy, some of which will provide buffs to your other cards. And the idea is that you just want to be optimal with your grid, with your inventory management here, to get the most powerful board that you can given your space constraints. And then it just becomes an auto battler. So here if I click begin, you can see that the turns tick. There's like a turn sort of mechanic here, but it's all automatic. And so you want to beat your enemy before they beat you. And of course it's all alchemy, medieval science, sort of necromancer themed. And so I can choose booster packs now after each combat. And I can choose things like this Corvid is interesting because it echoes if there are multiple Corvids on the board. And this echo will execute the all abilities again. Or I could take the Lambone Ring, which heals me for 2. So I could just take that, and now I've got some healing. And then I've got to choose some events here, and these events are just ways of improving your power, basically, since it's going to be a roguelike game. And that's the idea. Now, the sort of thing that separates this game from other grid-based auto battlers is you're going to be able to modify cards during a run, which I'm calling the alchemy system, which is basically if you enter the alchemy system, which I don't have here, so maybe I'll just see if I can get there real quick. The alchemy system allows you to combine abilities from any 2 cards into 1 new card. So you could have a card that has 8 abilities that it typically doesn't have, and it becomes super powerful. That's the basic, not the basic, but that's the main difference. So let's see. Of course, it's never going to give me an alchemy option here. Alchemize cards here. So what I can do is like, okay, I've got the skeleton warrior. So I'm just going to go ahead and combine all of these things together, perform alchemical transformation. That has merged everything into the skeleton warrior such that now it deals 6 damage. It heals me for 4, and it reduces the remaining turns of adjacent minion cards by 3. So now what I can do is I can combine that and see now this is affecting that minion. Now this actually won't have any effect because they have the same exact turn cooldown. So this last part won't, but it will heal me and it will deal 6 damage. So you can see that Snake is going to attack me. And I've got healed now. So yeah, that's the idea. And yeah, that's what we're working on. Did you do all the art? My main draw to these titles is pixel art. I love it. Works great on a Steam Deck, of course, too. They're timeless. Yes, I did do all the art. Yes, yes. Except for the font, like stuff like fonts, I don't do, obviously, but all the remaining stuff that's not a font, I'm doing the art for, yeah. Sort of like Die in the Dungeon, sort of. Yeah, Die in the Dungeon, Backpack Battles, The Bazaar, Backpack Hero. Those kinds of games are very strong inspirations for this game. But like I said, the main thing that I want to do is be able to like basically mold and shape a card to be the way that you want it to be. Like, do you remember, I don't know if you played Oblivion, but in Oblivion there was like a spell crafting system, which was very basic, but you could like tweak the parameters of the spell you wanted to make and it would like have a mana cost associated with it, but you could make some really powerful spells. And that's kind of like a small inspiration for the alchemy system too, is like just get a bunch of stuff combined onto a card and just get like this mega powerful card. I think it'd be super fun. Really cool, thank you. Yeah, I think I'm really excited about the game and the way it's going. I think there's a lot of potential here. So like I said, the only question is, can I execute on that potential? We'll see. We'll see. Oh, we'll see. Okay, anyway. What was I doing? Oh, event. Yeah, event state machines. So how do I want to do that? I think what I'll do is this. Scripts. Let's just do a new folder. Do I want to call it event? Probably not. Let's do just gameplay, I guess. New, let's do event base event state machine. Public abstract class. Base event state machine. Node. Partial. Okay. Protected. Immediate state machine. State machine equals new. What? I actually don't know how to use this. Oh, yeah, this is kind of... Never mind. I'm not going to use the immediate state machine. Actually, yeah, I'm not going to use this. I'll just use the delegate state machine for now. The problem with the delegate state machine is that it's kind of made with the assumption that you are going to call update. And I'm not doing that, so it's a little bit wonky, but that's all right. Can I do a signal on this? Public delegate void finished event handler. Okay, health event state machine. Base event state machine public override void ready. State machine dot add states. Private state, or no, private void. Enter state init. So the problem is I need like this just empty method to get this to work with the delegate state machine, but that's all right. State machine. Set initial state init. think that's fine. So enter state init, what I need to do in here is I need a reference to game UI. So I'm just gonna put this here for now, but I'm gonna need to figure out a way to get this into the class. But var health option container equals game UI dot create health option container. Okay. Health option container dot selected on health. Yeah, option selected. Cost. So now the benefit of doing it this way is I can store a reference to the health option container like so, and keep that out of cluttering my run manager. So all the state related to this event can now be contained within this class. So it's very easy to manage. State machine dot add states, state cleanup, enter state cleanup. So here, queue free. So I'd do this, and then I would do emit signal finished, emit signal finished, and then I can also queue free myself. So when this health option gets selected, what I need to do in here is subtract that cost and also do the health increase here. So I gotta figure out, I'm gonna need to pass in the relevant stuff. Actually, I can do this. var currency manager is equal to this dot get, or no, get tree, get first node and group currency manager. Using currency manager. Calculate sell price, blood. Let's do public static void. Let's do add blood. Take blood. And I'm going to want to do this actually. Mathf dot max of 0 and amount. Blood minus amount. Instance dot blood minus amount. Always like to do this just in case, just to prevent the number from ever going negative. Okay, so we got take blood. So now I can do is actually I don't need to do this. I can just do currency manager dot take blood cost. And then how is the health increase actually working? Player board set max health. So I'm gonna need a reference to the player board in this. So I think this is where maybe I need a constructor here. Yeah, maybe I need a constructor. Can I do a constructor in here? I don't know. Public base event state machine. Let's just pass in, for example, the game UI and board, player board. This is going to become unwieldy as I need more state, but I will figure that out when I get there. Protected game UI, protected board, player board. Okay. And it's going to want me to do a primary constructor. That's fine. Cool. So now in here, what I can do, currency manager take blood cost, player board dot set max health, player board max health plus health increase. Yes. And then state machine change, state cleanup. Okay. This goes away. Okay. So now the run manager, instead of doing this in here, what I'm going to do is, if the event type max health is selected, I'm going to create var health event state machine is equal to new health event state machine, game UI player board, finished. I don't really like that, but that's okay. Event container. No. So now what I can do, add child health event state machine. I can just add the state machine now to the tree. It's going to take over handling the state for that event, and when it's finished, it will be done. So I have no clue if this is going to work, but set event types. Events 0 is equal to event type max health. So we'll just guarantee a health. I have no clue if this is going to work, but let's see. Let's see. Would you eventually make a course on a game like this, Auto Battler? I think they're very fun to play. Perhaps, yeah. I've got a lot of stuff to do with respect to courses and whatnot, but I don't know. There's so much to do. But it would be a nice course for sure. Welcome back to the stream, by the way, Hurt Wolf. Good to see you as always. Max health increase. Boom. Increase max health by 0. Well, that's not correct. But let's do this. Just do this. Boom. It did not work. Oh, it did work, probably. So I need to go back to my health. Health option container. This needs to be I plus 1 times 5. Or no. That's fine. This needs to be I plus 1 times 5. All right, let's see if that works. So this is going to be a lot cleaner way of managing events, especially when events have their own like sub menus and stuff, I think. There we go. I increased my max health by 5. So let's sell these things. Okay, begin. We'll go ahead and sell one of these as well. Max health increase. For 10 blood, increase health by 5. This should go down to 5 now. Bam! Look at that. Cool. So that hierarchical state machine is actually working pretty beautifully. So I might spend some time refactoring the other events just to handle that. Yeah, because there's like alchemy has its own state and like all that stuff. So I'm going to need to do all that and clean up this. So basically, whenever enter state event is called, all this run manager is going to do is just spawn the relevant state machine and wait for it to finish before continuing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put it private void on event state machine finished. Okay, up here. Now I want to go here. There we go. I don't like doing lambdas in the signal handlers necessarily. Oops. Cool. Glad to be here, learning a lot just by watching. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to commit what I have, and it is time for me to eat lunch. So that's going to be it for the stream, actually. I'm going to get rid of that for now. Event specific state machines. So yeah, like I said, that'll be it for the stream today. Very productive today, though. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. So when you commit these objects, do they create those objects? What do you mean by that? The files. Do they create the objects? I saw you moving around. So when you commit the files, do they... I'm not entirely sure what your question is. So hold on a second. The files, do they then create the objects? I saw you moving around. I don't know. Maybe I'm not. I'm still not understanding the question. What objects are you referring to? How do those things on screen correlate to the files you were modifying? Oh, are you talking about the health stuff? Let's see. Yeah, are you maybe talking about get crunked? Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Does anyone else? I don't know if I'm just being dense or if I'm not. I don't know why I'm not understanding. Like you were writing code, right? Then committing it. Then back you have like assets, scenes, scripts. Oh, here? In this file system here? Is this what you're talking about in this view right here? So, how do those? Oh, okay, okay. I understand the question now. How do those correlate to the files you were modifying? Yeah. So this is Godot's file system. This is basically just a one-to-one recreation of the file system as it exists on the disk. With some, it hides a lot of items because it's only really showing resources that it recognizes. But this is the game file system, and then whatever I was committing, yeah, those were all part of that file system, that directory structure. So like I committed the game UI here, right? And that's in scene/UI. So scenes UI, game UI. So it's just a duplication of the directory structure on disk. I can even open this in File Manager. See, like this is the same directory structure here, scenes UI, game UI. So basically this is the same exact structure as exists on your disk, but it only shows resources that Godot recognizes. So it's not gonna show like hidden folders. It won't show things like certain extensions, certain file extensions by default, things of that nature. So I hope that answers your question. But yeah, that's it for the stream today. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you all for being here. Very much appreciate that. And thank you to the VOD watchers and lurkers out there as well. I also appreciate you, of course. And yeah, I'll be back at it tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern, so I hope to see you there. Please check out the links in the description below. Again, Gunforged is on sale for 30% off right now. So if you want to support my work, now is a great time to do that. And I also have Udemy courses available for sale that you can check out. All right, thanks again, everyone, and I will see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. All right, bye-bye.